Hey guys, it's Johnny. Today I'm going to be making a video on how I got into Virginia Tech. This video was inspired by my friend Safa, who commented to do a college type video. She made one about NYU on her channel, so you should go watch that because she is so hardworking and obviously she got in, but her video is really good. So I'm going to break it down into different categories just to kind of like organize it. So first off, the application process. I did early decision for Virginia Tech, which meant that if I got in, then like basically you have to go or they kill you. No, just kidding, but you basically have to pay a fee if you don't end up going there. So like if Virginia Tech is your #1 choice, then obviously do early decision. I highly recommend doing early decision because if you apply, all you have to do is wait like a month and then you're gonna find out in November. And then for the rest of the school year, like you'll be fine. And you can just focus on your like high school classes instead of worrying about like the whole college process because like you're still in high school, so don't worry about it until you have to. I submitted my application on October 28th, 2019, and the deadline was November 1st, which was really risky because like what if I forgot to do it? Obviously I wouldn't. If I did, that would have been bad. And then I found out just like mid-December, so like I really didn't have to wait that long, but honestly it was the longest month of my life. My sister's gonna be a senior next year. When I like was filling out my application, it was like, do you have alumni? And I said yes. And honestly, I don't know if that has anything to do with how they choose their applicants, but I think it gives you a little bit of a step up. Okay, on to the next part, which is stats. I'm just gonna like get into it because I mean, people are always curious about like what you have. So I had a flat 4.0 GPA when I applied to Virginia Tech. Honestly, I don't know how much they look at it, but that was like a 4.0 weighted. So like with my AP classes and all that.
Okay, as I'm editing, I'm realizing that I didn't talk about like my classes. The AP classes that we have at our school have a lot to do with like your weighted GPA in the future. So say you're taking an AP class and you got a B as the final grade. That is technically a 3.0, but with the AP weight scale, it's a 4.0. For every AP class you take, it adds 1.0 to the GPA for that class, if that makes sense. So sophomore year I did AP World History, junior year I did AP Psychology and AP Language, and senior year I did AP Literature, AP Spanish, and AP Government. So those classes were definitely really nice to take because it added a big boost to my GPA. I don't know if this is the same for everyone, but that's my scale, so would definitely recommend taking those.
I don't know who has AP classes, who doesn't. Okay, so for the SAT, my parents told me to go to this place where they give you classes. It was like a 6-week class, but like a class every week. And I ended up getting a 1200 after doing that 6-week process. For Virginia Tech, I wanted to get higher because I was looking at like their average stats, and it was kind of like coasting on like the normal score. And then like 6 months later, I waited and I didn't really do any prep, honestly. Maybe 2 weeks of prep before. And then I ended up getting a 1250, which was 50 points more. It's out of 1600, so that was that. And the ACT, we're not going to talk about that. The good thing about tech is that they only need one test score, so if you do better on one compared to the other, you can just submit the best one that you have. I was looking at like the scattergram. It basically showed you everyone's average scores, and then you can look at your stats compared to everyone else's, which was nice to look at if you're curious. Okay, on to the next category. I have extracurriculars. So Virginia Tech is really big about this because their motto is Ut Prosum, which means that I may serve. They're all about like leadership and service. If you're like in your first years of high school, I'd recommend getting involved as soon as you can because they weigh that in just as equal as they do like GPA and their test scores. I managed field hockey and lacrosse for 4 years, and then I was in National Honor Society, Spanish Honor Society, Tri-M Honor Society, which is music, Art Honor Society. I was president of the American Sign Language Club, which we just like recently started a few years ago. And then I just like would work at the concession stand for like service hours. So honestly, like all these little things don't have to be the same, but it's like all this extra service and leadership can all weigh in when you're creating your application. Okay, so for the next topic is essays. So Virginia Tech has 4 short answer essays, and the difficult thing is that they're all 120 words max. So you really have to condense everything that you want to say, especially with the questions. They're very specific. Like there's multiple questions inside of the one essay topic. You have to be really careful of what you say. My 4 essays were definitely, each one was 300 words. So I had to figure out how to condense them into 120, which was like one of the hardest things to do. But my neighbor is an English teacher, so I shared my essays with her and she helped me condense them and proofread them, which was really nice. So if you guys know anyone that can help you out, maybe like your teachers or your counselor or something, it's definitely worth it to have an adult look over it. There's only so much that you can remove. Okay, I think this is honestly the last category. I'm trying to make this as condensed as possible, but Virginia Tech doesn't require teacher recommendations, which I don't know, it's kind of good and bad. It's an additional thing that you have to worry about, and you have to like think about which teachers you're gonna ask. So the good thing is you don't have to ask any teachers, but the bad thing is they don't really know anything personal about you besides your essays. So you have to make sure that in your essays you answer the questions but like personalized. So you have to make sure that you're answering each one, but don't make it like broad to the point where they don't really know who you are through your essays. Honestly, I think that's pretty much it for the application process as a whole. When I got accepted into Virginia Tech, it was honestly the most underwhelming thing ever because they were really weird about how they notified their applicants if they got in or not. It was like a little box that said like, congrats, you got in. But it looked like an ad, honestly, so I wasn't sure until like 20 minutes later if I got in or not. Like I was like doubting it, seriously. But now that everything has moved on, I'll be going in the fall, and I hope that all of you guys are planning ahead on where you want to go, because you have to keep in mind that each college application has a deposit fee. If you're planning on applying to multiple colleges, like be aware that they do add up, but you definitely want to have options when you're applying for colleges. Some backup schools, like even reach schools, but like if you have your mind set on one college and you're like, I only want to go there, you definitely should apply to other colleges too, because you don't want to be stuck in a situation where you're running out of options, and it's honestly better to be prepared than unprepared. So I would start organizing now. If you guys are still in high school, just figure it out all before so you don't have to be stressing about it last minute. I know a lot of people that do regular decision and have gotten into Virginia Tech, but I would definitely say get things done earlier than later. If you guys like these college type videos, just let me know because I can answer any questions that people have. Obviously, I'm not there yet, so I don't know everything, but the whole application process is done with. So yeah, leave a like and subscribe.